My name is Wynter, and I'm the birthday girl in 3 days, and I'm guaranteed to be the drunkest.
Say one, man. She gonna be the drunkest, I promise you. It's 11:02, 11:05, she out of here.
How can someone who says, "I love you," be the one who takes your life? How does a love that started with laughter end in pain? Did she see it coming, or did she believe, until the very last moment, that he wouldn't hurt her? Did he stop to think? Or was he so lost in anger that he forgot she was someone he once promised to protect? Why do people hurt the ones they claim to love? And how many more lives will be lost before love stops turning into something deadly? On March 26, 2023, Wynter Straw was shot outside by her boyfriend, Renardo Johnson.
Tonight, a woman's family is grieving following a deadly domestic violence situation. Richland deputies responded to an apartment on Mallet Hill Road last night, the cause of a woman who we now know as Wynter Straw. She was found shot to death outside her home. Investigators say her husband barricaded himself inside that home, eventually shooting himself. Straw's family met outside the apartments this evening to remember the woman and speak out against domestic violence.
The incident happened at her apartment complex on Mallet Hill Road in Columbia, South Carolina. Wynter lived there. She worked as a mental health officer at the South Carolina Department of Corrections. She was 25 years old at the time. That day, Wynter did not report to work. She did not call her supervisor. She did not send any messages. This was noted by her workplace as unusual, but no action was taken at that moment. At around the same time, people in the apartment complex heard a loud noise. The sound was a single gunshot. It came from outside one of the apartment units. Some neighbors looked outside, but did not approach. One person called 911 to report the gunshot and said someone appeared to be on the ground. Police and emergency services arrived quickly. Upon arrival, they located the body of a woman lying outside the door of one of the apartments. She was not moving and had a gunshot wound. The body was later identified as Wynter Straw. She was confirmed dead at the scene. The police began an immediate search of the area. Witnesses informed them that the person inside the apartment was Wynter's boyfriend, Renardo Johnson. He was 27 years old and known to be living at that address. Officers knocked on the apartment door and gave verbal commands for Renardo to come out. There was no response from inside. Police confirmed that the door was locked from the inside. Based on the witness statements and the gunshot heard earlier, the police believe Renardo was inside with a weapon. Officers began to treat the case as a barricade situation. They established a perimeter and cleared nearby apartments as a safety measure. Crisis negotiators were called to the scene. They used a loudspeaker and other tools to try and make contact with Renardo. There was no answer. Officers repeated verbal commands over a period of several hours. Renardo did not respond to any attempts at communication. During this time, the area was secured and no one was allowed near the unit. The police maintained their positions and monitored the apartment for any activity. After several hours of silence and no contact, officers made entry into the apartment. They used a tactical team to open the door and clear each room inside the unit. They found Renardo Johnson dead inside the apartment. He had a single gunshot wound. The injury was self-inflicted. A firearm was found near his body. There were no signs of forced entry. There was no one else inside the apartment. There were no other victims or suspects. Investigators collected evidence from both inside and outside the apartment. Photos were taken. Measurements were made. Witnesses were interviewed. Police reviewed the scene and confirmed the sequence of events. Wynter was shot outside the apartment, near the door. Renardo was inside at the time officers arrived. He did not leave. He did not speak. He later took his own life with the same weapon used to shoot Wynter. Based on the timeline evidence and witness statements, the Columbia Police Department ruled the case a murder-suicide. The motive was not officially released. There were no previous police reports or public complaints involving either person. Wynter's body was taken for examination. An autopsy confirmed the cause of death as a single gunshot wound. Renardo's body was also examined. His cause of death was listed as suicide by gunshot. Later that week, the police released a public statement confirming both deaths. No other details were made available. The investigation was closed after the findings were confirmed. A year later, Wynter's co-workers at the Department of Corrections placed a purple memorial bench at the Broad River Correctional Institution to honor her.
When people think of Wynter, I wouldn't think of just a sweet, innocent girl who was out here trying to make her mom proud, make her family proud, and just to do what she loved most.
I'm the baby of my family, and so she was my little sister, and so it just hurt me so bad because I wish I was there for her. I wish I was right down the street. I just wish she would have called. The lost, but now I just want everybody to keep us in your prayers.
My dad.
Long live Wynter. I love you, baby girl.
No other official memorial events were held by law enforcement. The case remains closed. There are no new developments, no additional suspects, no further action. That is what happened on March 26, 2023. If you enjoy real crime stories that uncover the truth, don't forget to subscribe. Your support helps us share real cases, spread awareness, and give a voice to those who can't speak for themselves. Before we begin, let us know in the comments, where are you watching from? And what are your thoughts as the story unfolds? Welcome to True Crime Tales, where we reveal the crimes that shock communities and the secrets hidden behind closed doors. These are real people, real events, real consequences. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Now, let's begin. Wynter Straw was a young woman who lived in Columbia, South Carolina. She was 25 years old. She had a job as a mental health officer. In her job, she helped people who had problems with their minds. Some of them felt very sad, angry, or confused. Wynter helped them stay calm and safe. She worked at the South Carolina Department of Corrections. That is a place where people go after breaking the law. Her job was to care for them and make sure they were okay. Before she got her job, Wynter went to college. She studied at Allen University, which is a school where people go to learn and prepare for their future. While she was in college, Wynter played basketball. She was part of the school's basketball team. She wore her uniform, joined the games, and helped her team. Wynter was also a member of a group called Delta Sigma Theta Sorority. This is a group for smart and active young women who work together to learn, grow, and help others. In this group, the women do projects together, support one another, and stay connected like a team. Wynter had big dreams. She wanted to become a lawyer. A lawyer is someone who knows the law and helps other people with legal problems. Wynter wanted to help people who needed someone to speak for them in court. She planned to go to law school after working and saving money. People who knew Wynter said she was smart and focused. She worked hard. She followed the rules. She made plans for her life and tried to reach her goals step by step. She wanted to move forward. She wanted to learn more, do more, and be more. She had a daily routine. She lived in her own apartment. She went to work. She came home. She minded her own business. She kept things simple. She kept things neat. Wynter had friends who liked her. She had family members who cared about her. Her co-workers respected her. They said she was polite, calm, and always on time. She did not cause trouble. She helped others when they needed support. Everything in Wynter's life showed that she was building a future. First, she finished college. Then she got a good job. She saved money. Her next step was law school. She was working toward that dream. Wynter was the kind of person who wanted to make a difference. She believed in helping people. She believed in doing the right thing. She believed in staying strong and moving forward. She didn't waste time. She used her time to grow. Renardo Johnson was a 27-year-old man who lived in Columbia, South Carolina. He was not famous, and not much is known about his job. Most people only knew him because he was the boyfriend of Wynter Straw. Renardo and Wynter were in a romantic relationship. They spent time together and sometimes stayed at each other's homes. Renardo often stayed at Wynter's apartment on Mallet Hill Road. They were close, and to the outside world, they looked like a happy couple. On social media, their relationship seemed fun and loving. They posted pictures and videos on platforms like TikTok and Instagram. In the videos, they danced together, smiled for the camera, and took part in popular trends. In their photos, they hugged, wore matching clothes, and posed as if they were enjoying life together. These posts got many likes, hearts, and positive comments. People who followed them believed they had a good relationship. Some even said they looked like relationship goals. Everything they showed online looked perfect. But what people post online is not always the full truth. A smile in a video does not always mean a person is happy. A dance does not show what happens when the phone camera is off. Behind the pictures, no one knew what their real relationship was like in private. Wynter was a private person. She did not share details about her personal life. Her friends said she never talked about having problems with Renardo. Her co-workers said she was focused and professional. She worked hard as a mental health officer and wanted to go to law school. No one saw any signs of trouble. On March 26, 2023, a Sunday evening, Wynter Straw was at home in Columbia, South Carolina. She was 25 years old. She lived in an apartment. Her boyfriend, Renardo Johnson, who was 27 years old, was with her. Around 7:45 p.m., something happened outside the apartment. A loud sound was heard. It was a gunshot. A neighbor heard it. The neighbor picked up the phone and called the police. The police came quickly. They found Wynter outside the apartment. She was on the ground. She had been shot. She was not moving. The police checked her. She was dead. After the shooting, Renardo did not leave. He went inside the apartment. He closed the door and locked it. He stayed inside for hours. He did not speak. He did not come out. The police waited outside. They told people to stay away. They tried to speak to Renardo, but he did not answer. They knocked. They spoke through a loudspeaker. Still, no reply. After waiting for a long time, the police went inside the apartment. They found Renardo inside. He had a gun. He had shot himself. He was dead too. Now, both Wynter and Renardo were dead. First, Renardo shot Wynter. Then, he went inside and shot himself. The police looked around the apartment. They found the gun. They found bullet shells. They looked at Wynter's phone. They looked at Renardo's phone. They checked the building's cameras. Neighbors said they heard yelling before the gunshot. Some said they saw nothing. No one else was hurt. The police stayed at the apartment for many hours. They took pictures. They collected things. They spoke to people. When they were done, they left. The case was over. The people involved were both dead. This is what happened on that Sunday night. It started with a loud sound. It ended with two people no longer alive. No one else was part of it. Only Wynter and Renardo. Before the shooting happened, some things might have shown early warning signs. These are things that sometimes happen before crime, but not always. It's not always easy to tell when something bad will happen, but asking questions helps us understand. Some friends and neighbors said Wynter and Renardo had problems before. Some people heard them arguing in the past. They sometimes fought loudly, but no one reported serious danger before March 26. No one called the police before that day. No one told authorities that they thought Wynter was in trouble. Sometimes people do not tell others what is really happening. Or sometimes they don't think it's serious enough to call for help. That could have happened in this case. We do not know everything Wynter was feeling. She did not leave a message or note. But people close to her said she may have been having problems with Renardo. If she was afraid, she may not have told many people. That happens sometimes. Some people do not want others to worry. Some people think they can fix things themselves. Some people are afraid to speak out. There is no public information that shows Wynter asked for help or told someone she was afraid. There are no police records showing that she made a report against Renardo. She did not file for a restraining order. If she talked to anyone privately, they have not shared that information. That means we do not know for sure. After the events on March 26, 2023, the police continued their work. They checked the scene again. They looked at everything inside and outside the apartment in Columbia, South Carolina. The area was quiet. The bodies of Wynter N, Straw, and Renardo S. Johnson were removed from the scene. The police confirmed what had happened. Wynter was shot and killed outside her apartment. Renardo went inside and shot himself after that. The police officially said both were dead. No other people were involved. There were no signs that someone else had helped or been part of crime. Once the police finished their work, the news spread. Family and friends of Wynter heard what had happened. They were surprised. Some people had seen her just days before. She had been working. She had been active on social media. She had not told many people that there were any problems. Her family members were contacted. Her mother, father, and sister were told what happened. Friend from school, work, and her sorority also learned the news. Her co-workers at the Broad River Correctional Institution, where she worked as a mental health officer, were also informed. After the news was shared, people began to take action. A vigil was planned the next day. It was held on March 27, 2023. The location was Carrington Place at Wildwood Apartment Homes, the same place where the crime happened. People gathered together. They stood outside. They lit candles. They stood in silence. Many people wore purple. Purple is a color used to raise awareness about domestic violence. People were asked to wear purple to show support and to remember Wynter. Her family, friends, and members of her community came together. They did not speak loudly or use strong emotions. They stood in one place to show respect and attention. Her sorority also spoke out. Wynter had joined Delta Sigma Theta sorority. Incorporated members of the sorority made public statements. They said they wanted to support Wynter's family. They also said they wanted to help stop future cases of domestic violence. The group reminded others to speak up if they ever see or hear something dangerous. Months passed. More steps were taken to remember Wynter in quiet and respectful ways. A bench was built in place at the Broad River Correctional Institution, where Wynter had worked. The bench was purple. It was placed outside. It had Wynter's name on it. The bench was added on the 1-year anniversary of her death. People sat near the bench. Some stood near it to think quietly. The bench was a gift from her co-workers and people who had worked with her at the correctional center. They wanted to create something permanent. The bench was simple. It did not have decorations. It had clean words printed on it. It is now part of the space. Later in the year, another vigil was held. It happened in December 2023. It was at the Busby Street Community Center. This event was not just for Wynter. It was for other people too, people who had died from violence in the Columbia area. Candles were lit. Names were read. Wynter's family members were there, including her sister. The vigil gave families time to remember those they had lost. Some people wore purple again. Others stood silently. There were no large events or music. It was calm and quiet. The community continued to speak about safety. People talked about how to help others who may be in danger. They said it was important to check on friends. They said it was important to report something if it doesn't seem right. Many groups used Wynter's story to teach others. Schools, churches, and local groups shared her story. They reminded people to look out for signs of violence. They gave out contact numbers for helplines. They told people that silence can be dangerous. These lessons were shared in meetings, online posts, and school events. Wynter Straw's name was remembered. Her story was told in simple ways. There were no big shows. There were no long speeches. Just quiet actions. Purple shirts, candles, a bench, and words from her sorority. This is what happened after crime. The police confirmed the facts. The family and the community responded with respectful steps. The events did not change what happened, but they helped people stay aware, and they helped others learn what to do in the future. In this case, Wynter was in a relationship with Renardo. Friends and neighbors said they sometimes heard arguments, but no one called the police before March 26th. No one knew how bad it was. This is one reason why domestic violence is hard to notice. Many people in unhealthy or unsafe relationships do not show it. They might smile in public. They might post happy photos online. They might go to work, school, or events like everything is fine. But inside their home, things may be different. Wynter did not file any police reports before the incident. There were no court records saying she had asked for help. This shows that someone can be in danger without telling others. Some people stay quiet because they are afraid. Some think no one will believe them. Others think the problem will go away. Some people want to protect the other person, even if that person is hurting them. People do not always ask for help when they are in trouble. There are many reasons. They may feel ashamed. They may feel scared. They may think no one will understand. Or they may believe it is their fault. In Wynter's case, there is no record that she reached out to police or friends about being in danger. Her family and the community only found out how serious it was after it was too late. That is why it's important to check in with people. Sometimes just asking a question or noticing changes in someone's behavior can help. If a person who used to smile a lot becomes quiet, or they stop going out, or they seem nervous when their partner's around, those could be signs. If you know someone who might be in danger, there are things you can do. You can ask them, "Are you okay? Do you feel safe at home? Do you need help?" You can give them the number of a trusted adult, school counselor, or police officer. You can remind them they are not alone. If someone tells you they are afraid, take it seriously. Even if they don't look afraid, still listen. Don't tell them it's not a big deal. Don't say it's their fault. Just help them find someone who can protect them. If you are not sure what to do, you can tell a teacher or another adult you trust. They will know how to get help. Here are 2 important questions to think about. How can we stop this from happening again? We can talk about it. We can learn the signs of abuse. We can help people speak up before it's too late. Who would you tell if you were scared at home? Would you tell your teacher? Would you tell a friend's parent? Would you tell your own parent if they're safe? Would you call the police? It is okay to tell someone if something is wrong. Even if the person hurting you is someone you know. Even if they say not to tell. Even if they say it's a secret. You have the right to be safe. Wynter Straw's death teaches people that domestic violence can happen to anyone. It can be quiet. It can stay hidden. But there are always ways to help by watching, listening, and speaking up. The best way to stop it is to notice the signs early and to tell someone before it becomes too late. If you found this story as gripping and heartbreaking as we did, don't forget to like this video and share it with others. And if you want to hear more true crime stories that uncover the mysteries behind these tragic events, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell. You won't want to miss our latest stories, updates, and discussions. Thank you for joining us on this journey to seek justice and explore the truth. Together, we can make a difference. Until next time, stay safe and stay aware.